This is your weekly rundown of episode Heresy, week 9, starting on April 1st. Act 3 of episode Heresy kicks off this week, with more story, expanded Dreadnaught exploration, and the return of the Sunless Sell strike and Nightfall, plus refreshes to the Nether and Court of Blades, with new bosses, new combatants, and new challenges. Also, more perks become available for this episode's artifact, with Unstoppable Rocket Launcher, Vile Weave, Perpetual Destruction, Gold from Lead, and To Shreds. Act 3 also introduces the new limited time event Rite of the Nine, which is free to all players, with no dungeon keys required. Each week, one dungeon will be the featured dungeon for the week, rotating weekly with the Spire of the Watcher, Prophecy, and Ghost of the Deep. Rite of the Nine is available in 3 versions: Explorer mode for Guardians who are new to dungeons with tooltips and waypointing, Eternity mode for more experienced Guardians, and Ultimatum mode for a tougher challenge, tougher enemies, tougher modifiers, and greater rewards. With a selection of 12 returning dungeon weapons with updated perks, a new 9 theme aesthetic, and even adept weapons for those who take on the hardest challenge. Weapon attuning is also available, similar to how the Brave Arsenal works in Onslaught. Weapons available are the Arc Precision Frame Auto Rifle Prosecutor, the Strand High Impact Frame Pulse Rifle Relentless, the Strand Adaptive Frame Hand Cannon Judgment, the Void Aggressive Frame Shotgun A Sudden Death, the Void Double Frame Grenade Launcher Wilder Flight, the Arc Aggressive Frame Scout Rifle Long Arm, the Stasis Heavy Burst Sidearm Liminal Vigil, the Arc High Impact Frame Machine Gun Terminus Horizon, the Stasis Wave Frame Grenade Launcher New Pacific Epitaph, the Solar Aggressive Frame Submachine Gun No Survivors, the Solar Rapid Fire Glaive Greasy Luck, and the Stasis Aggressive Frame Rocket Launcher Cold Comfort. All of these weapons come with the new Origin trait called Gravity Well. When reloading, this weapon automatically gathers nearby ammo, which is exclusive to these weapons. Plus, arriving with Act 3 of episode Heresy is the new PvP mode Heavy Metal, where teams of Guardians will battle it out in Tanks Vs Briggs. This week also sees the return of Valor Saladin, as he arrives in the tower for the second time this episode, bringing with him the Iron Banner. This is a week-long free-to-play Crucible event, which means there will be no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Power level is disabled, meaning you can go into Iron Banner with whatever weapons and armour you would like. Iron Banner also brings with it challenges and a seal to become an Iron Lord. For episode Heresy, Iron Banner has now been broken up into 2 playlists, with each one replacing an existing node on the Crucible Director. Iron Banner Control will replace the existing Control node, and Iron Banner Quickplay will be the new home for Eruption, Fortress, Tribute, and Rift game modes in the Quickplay playlist. If you need a refresh or just want to know more about the Iron Banner, then check out our most recent guide. This episode's new weapon is the Arc Adaptive Frame Trace Rifle Warlord's Spear, and returning weapon is the Stasis Adaptive Burst Sidearm Peacebond. We also have a new emblem called Saladin's Pride, and new shader called Banner's Bearer. Episode Revenant brought with it the Iron Banner Memento, which you can put into your crafted weapons to gain access to the shader Iron Banner Keepsake, and title of Seaver's Bane. Plus, the Iron Intent armor set from episode Revenant is still earnable. Act 2 of episode Heresy brought with it the new activity, the Court of Blades. Set within the Dreadnaught's Hold of Souls area, players are transported to different arenas across the system, from Io to Europa and on board a Hive warship. The Court of Blades comes with different augments and armaments in each run, which can be different combinations every time. The difficulty of the court starts to escalate after every 2 challenges, and is available in normal and expert versions, with adept versions of the Act 2 weapons only dropping in the expert version. Also, the Grandmaster Nightfall node is available, giving Guardians the opportunity to start to complete their Conquest seal for this episode. Also, with this node becoming available, this will also give Guardians the chance to jump ahead and complete some of Act 3's Nightfalls. These being the Insight Terminus on Nessus week 13, April 29th, Warden of Nothing on the Dreaming City week 14, May 6th, and the reprised Destiny 1 Dreadnaught strike the Sunless Sell, week 15, May 13th, 2025. Or conversely, you'll be able to complete Act 1's Grandmasters, which are now not available: Hypernet Current on Europa, Heist Battlegrounds Mars, and the Sark's Battlegrounds Cosmodrome. Act 1 of episode Heresy brought with it the new 3-player activity, the Nether. Set within the Dreadnaught patrol zones, Guardians fight in random and varied encounters with different events and objectives every time. Inside the Nether, players will find unique modifiers and stackable buffs called Boons that increase your power over time. These come in minor, major, and corrupted versions, and various pickups can be hidden in chests and earned throughout the Dreadnaught. The Nether has 3 modes: the Nether Exploration for those solo types who want to just explore the Dreadnaught, a match-made mode on baseline advanced difficulty, and a selectable non-match-made expert version. From Act 3 of episode Revenant, we have the new exotic mission Kell's Fall, where you can earn the new Void Exotic Shotgun Slayer's Fang, and new Prison of Elders challenge Kell's Vengeance, which can be found over in the Last City for 2 to 3 players. Act 2 of episode Revenant brought with it the Tomb of Elders, and Contest of Elders over in the Last City, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of Act 2. Also available for a weekly Pinnacle is the Salvation's Edge raid over in the Pale Heart, and new dungeon Sundered Doctrine, which can be found over on the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality's Ager up for grabs, and a whole suite of new weapons and armour. Just make sure to visit Encore over in the tower to pick up the quest Drowning Labyrinth to enter. Over in the last city we have Onslaught Salvation, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of the opening act of Revenant. This new version of Onslaught brings with it new defences, 3 new mats and new enemies to fight. You can select from Widow's Court, Eventide Ruins and Kell's Grave, either normal or expert. Also, the original Onslaught has been updated to include some of the new additions. Located in the Vanguard playlist, the featured Onslaught map this week will be Vostok, with the Siege Hook Ogre kicking off the boss rotation. In the last city on the Helm, the exotic mission Encore is still available, with 2 difficulty options, normal and expert. Also, from episode Echoes, we have the 3 new Battleground activities, Delve, Conduit and Core, with Enigma Protocol and Breach Executable. The expert Battlegrounds will start this week's rotation with Conduit. The Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Strand and has the Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Blind One features Scorn enemies and the Plagues, Sigrus and Varicus. The Ascendant challenge will be the Forfeit Shrine over in the Gardens of Vasilia. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian and the Wandering Nightmare, the Fallen Council, are both located in Archer's Line. Nightmare hunts Zydron, Servitude, Tanix, Isolation, and Skolas, Pride. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Tanix and the Apostate Sniper. On Europa this week, Coridis the Dark Priestess will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide Ruins will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo challenge will be Survival. Dares of Eternity expert difficulty rounds are Vex, Kabul, and Crota. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Perfectus armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 2. Scathelock, Extraordinary Rendition, Brass Attacks, Threaded Needle, Code Duello, Imperial Needle, Far Future, Honor's Edge, Distant Terminus, Interference 6, Shepherd's Watch, and Annual Skate. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Arrival, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on attack, with the Kinetic Bow, Feltar Diddle, and Borgon Hive Knight as the boss. The Lightfall weekly mission is Desperate Measures, the Partition mission will be Backdoor, and the Vex incursion will be Zephyr Concourse. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The final straight's cooperative focus campaign mission this week will be Descent. The 12 Guardian Match-Made Excision mission is also available next to the race for a weekly Pinnacle, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Salvation Jade Raid Challenge this week is the first encounter Substranum called Scenic Route. The Root of Nightmares Raid Challenge this week is the second encounter Scission called Crossfire. The Kingsfall Raid Challenge this week is the third encounter Golgoroth called Gazer Maze. The Vault of Glass Challenge this week is the fourth encounter Gatekeeper called Strangers in Time. The Deep Zone Crypt Challenge this week is the fourth encounter Tanix called The Core 4. And the Garden of Salvation Challenge this week is the first encounter Embrace called To the Top. Featured Pinnacle Raid 1 will be Val the Disciple over on the Throne World, and featured Pinnacle Raid 2 will be The Last Wish over on the Dreaming City, with all challenges available for all encounters, with the exotic Pulse Rifle Collective Obligation being farmable from the final boss in Val, and the exotic Fusion Rifle 1000 Voices from The Last Wish. Featured Pinnacle Dungeon 1 will be Duality over on the Derelict Leviathan on the Moon, and featured Pinnacle Dungeon 2 will be Vesper's Host over on Europa. The exotic mission rotator will be Starcross over in the Legends tab, with the Wishkeeper exotic bow being the main reward, and the Season the Wish weapon set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. This week's challenges are Heretical Arsenal, Court of Blade Orbs, Enhanced Court of Blades, Small Arm Soulfire, Ritual Ornament, Void Armaments, Calibrate Close Range, Unnamed Entry, and Unnamed Entry. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City, Wednesday Hydroponics Delta on Neptune, Thursday Gilded Precept on Neptune, Friday Thrillerdrome on Neptune, Saturday The Broken Deep in the Pale Heart, Sunday The Blooming Deep in the Pale Heart, and Monday Bunker E15 on Europa. The Grandmaster Nightfalls continue this week with our 9th featured Nightfall, which will see us face against Hashladoon, Daughter of Crota, in the Scarlet Keep on the Moon, with Scintillation Linear Fusion Rifle as the featured adept weapon. The 6v6 playlist will be Iron Banner Control. The 6v6 Quickplay mode should be Iron Banner Fortress. Collision should also be in the small team's Quickplay, and new game mode Heavy Metal could also be available. As a reminder, there is no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. This week should also see bonus Crucible ranks available all week long. And as a reminder, the annual Moments of Triumph continue, with a collection of 33 challenges celebrating everything you've been able to achieve in this past year. If you've been active, you'll likely already have some of these completed, which just gets you closer to the 26 you'll need to earn the 2024 seal and title. Still available is the Destiny 10th Anniversary in-game celebration event, and don't forget to keep an eye on Zer this Friday at Reset to see if he's offering another chance to grab a random rolled exotic class item for 41 strange coins. And that's it for the 9th week of the Final Shape episode Heresy. Thank you for watching. Allons-y.